Welcome back to another recap show. We just finished up with NFL Week 14, and spoiler alert, your boy did not do so hot. Went 5-9. Another sub 500 week. I don't know what's going on with me. It's I gotta shake this. This is not like me. My record, my all time record is dwindling down. So I'm going to talk about it during this show. I'm going to recap every game on this card, tell you where I went right at, where I went wrong at, and what some improvements could be made both with myself and with these teams going forward. So, with that being said, without further ado, I'm going to hop right into the Week 14 card. And I'm going with this first game, which was Thursday Night Football. Cowboys versus the Lions. The Lions took this win. Chose the Lions for this one. Gibbs just saved the day. And he saved Dan Campbell because it looked like they was letting the Cowboys come back late in this game. Gibby had 3 touchdowns, 120 all-purpose yards with 7 receptions. So, Gibbs did his thing, and it was kind of looking kind of iffy for the Lions, because they had this trend where they lose one, then they win one, then they lose one, then they win one. And I'm not sure if it's the offensive coordinator, offensive play calling, but they got to get something figured out. In terms of the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb went out the game. He was having a pretty good game, but he went out with injury. You would think George Pickens would pick up the slack the way he was been balling all the past couple weeks, but he only had 5 catches for 37 yards on 9 targets. Ryan Floyd really stole the show, and he had 9 receptions for 115 yards and 1 touchdown. So Pickens, I know he's been hot all week, but we like to see that you bounce back. I know a lot of people was calling out his effort after the game and him not really finishing routes. And that's kind of haunted him since his Pittsburgh days. But, he could just have an off game. And Pickett's been balling. I'm not going to hold this game against him. Like I said, I figured Cowboys was going to lose because the Lions usually don't lose back-to-back weeks. Next game, this was the surprise heard around town. Like, who would have thought that the Titans would have put up 31 points on the Cleveland Browns? Like, this defense has been playing very, very elite, and I was not expecting this much offensive production from the Titans, let alone Tony Pollard. Like the Browns just let him do anything. Like, he had 162 yards and 2 touchdowns. Both of the touchdowns were long, explosive runs. One run was for 65 yards, and the other runs was 32 yards. So, they let Tony Pollard pop off on them. Browns defense obviously must have stayed up late last night, or I don't know. Maybe it was overlooking an opponent because this Titans team has not been winning a lot of games as they just won their second game of the season. So, yeah, this was another L for me. I just thought the defense was going to show it out a little bit more. But shout out to Shedeur Sanders. 364 yards, 4 total touchdowns, 1 interception. And funny enough, he was the leading rusher for the Browns. So, Quinshon Judkins, what was you doing, man? Come on. Yeah. But like I said, shout out to Shedeur. It's good to see both of these rookies on the same field playing, which is Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. They was going back and forth draft night, who's going to get drafted first. Ultimately, it was Cam Ward and Shedeur finally getting his time now, and he's shining. So, shout out to both of these quarterbacks. Cam Ward got the win, but Shedeur played the better game, and he's looking like he's gonna have a pretty bright future if he keeps this up. Next game, the Seahawks and the Falcons. Figured the Falcons was going to lose this one. I mean, they have no one on their team. They need another wide receiver. It's looking pretty bad for them. But it's good to see Pitts, performing. I know that they invested pretty heavily in him, and, he hasn't really been showing it. But this game had 6 catches for 90 yards. putting together a pretty decent season. I gotta look at his season numbers. So shout out to Pitts. I know Michael Penix was this off season was saying he's gonna have a pretty big season this coming up. I know Michael Penix is out currently, and Kirk Cousins is throwing him the ball, which benefits him some even more. And Drake London being out is going to benefit him some more, having less target competition. But in terms of the Seahawks, yeah, they're the most complete team. Scored another touchdown on special teams, and JSN looked like he just locked up Offensive Player of the Year with another 2 touchdown performance. So, shout out to the Seahawks. This division is definitely very tough between them, the 49ers, and the Rams. So, very, very good division. Next game was the Colts and the Jaguars. The Colts, I just feel bad for them, man. It's just Daniel Jones got knocked out with season-ending injuries, Achilles. But, he was playing on a broken fibula, and when you, kind of playing on injuries and those injuries kind of can combine and stack up and multiply. And I think that's what happened with Daniel Jones. It was a non-contact injury. Went out early in that or midway through that first quarter. And the coach just never really picked up steam after that. I mean, it was already trailing before him getting injured. But, just him being injured and, them going to Riley Leonard just didn't really have enough juice. So definitely feel bad for the Colts. But the Jags are still looking strong. This was a loss for me just because I just thought Taylor would have a bigger game. But yeah, T-Law, Trevor Lawrence, another turnover-free game. That's the key for the Jaguars to keep winning. Even though he had about, I want to say, 244 yards this game. Yeah, 244 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he had a good game, another solid game for Trevor Lawrence. But, man, it's just sad to see a promising season like the Colts, is coming to an end. I want to say this team started out 5-0, maybe even 6-0. So, but if Taylor can really elevate this team and really get multiple touchdowns again, I think he can reclaim himself as the MVP. But he has to win out. He has to get 2 touchdowns every game for the rest of the season. So, yeah, it's just sad to see the Colts, after a promising start, really start to slow down. Next, Commanders and the Vikings. This was another L for me, man. Like the Vikings did not show anything. Like, this was a subpar performance, and they still won. I know it was 31-0, the shutout. But, Justin McCarthy had 163 yards, 3 touchdowns, and his longest completion was 21 yards, and he had 2 of those touchdowns went to the tight end. So this is a quarterback that's still checking it down. This is still a quarterback that's afraid to push the ball. Jefferson only had 2 catches for 11 yards. So, I mean, this team is really not really doing much. They just so happen to play the Commanders. Jaden Daniels came back way too early. Maybe he got scared. Mariota was playing too good or something. Didn't want people to forget about him. I don't know. But Jaden Daniels, you should have just shut it down for the rest of the season. It's not like you guys were competing for anything. So if I was Jaden Daniels, I'd shut it down for the rest of the year. You're not going to get a wild card, and you're not going to win that division. So just shut it down. Just shut it down. In terms of Quinn, in this offensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury, how do you put up 0 points, especially to the Vikings? So this is not good for the Commanders. Was expecting a little bit more offensive explosion for them, and they provided literally 0, nothing. So gonna have to get that figured out. But yeah, good win for the Vikings. It's not really going to help them out too much. This is another team that's not going to go anywhere. They should be looking to lose games too, so they can improve their draft stock. But they got the win. Can't fault them for a win. This was another L for me, man. For real, for real. And the Bengals had the opportunity to close this game. Uh, but they didn't, and Bill snuck one out. Josh Allen, he just making it happen. Another big rushing game where he had a 40-yard touchdown, and that kind of flipped the game on his head. But really, the Bills' defense came on top again, and they forced a pick six, and they got that touchdown. So, Josh Allen, he has to put on his cape to superhero because his best receivers are tight ends, and then other than that, they just got cooked. So, Allen's gonna keep playing superhero. He's gonna keep, getting turnovers. But it's really dependent if this defense is really going to get takeaways and score the ball too. If this defense does not get takeaways and scoring on that side of the field, this Bills team is probably not going to win the game. In terms of the Bengals, Burrow had 2 interceptions, man. Like, when you're already an underdog, you got to play mistake-free football. That's not something that they did. And that one of those mistakes, like I said previously, turned into a touchdown. So that's never good. But I still believe in the Bengals. This division is fairly weak. The Ravens is struggling. I know the Steelers just got to win. But really, they're just chasing those two, and those two are in very, very, very reachable range. Next game was another L, man. Now I was expecting more from the Buccaneers. No lie. It looks like Baker has cooled down, and he's kind of looking a little cooked, to be honest. Less than 50% passing on 30 attempts. Come on, that's not. I mean, that was early Baker, but this is not the Buccaneers Baker that sent him to the Pro Bowl. He only had 122 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So Baker is looking like Cleveland Baker. He's looking like the Baker that got him bounced around the league. And I know Liam Cohen's going, so and a lot of Godwin actually had a pretty big game. And I know Mike Evans is out, but this is a different Bucs team now, and I don't know if Baker can keep getting it done. In terms of the Saints, man, looks like we got to start putting some respect on Tyler Solik's name. Not a big passing game from him, but 7 rushes for 55 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. That's pretty good. That's once you start getting touchdowns on the ground as a quarterback, that's going to put you in a different category and, get you paid a little bit more. I know this when he got drafted, it raised a lot of eyebrows. But, it looks like he's showing something. Previous to this game, he had, back-to-back games where he was over 230 yards, passing yards. So, it could be something here, and we'll see. I know the Saints got a lack of weapons on the offensive side. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe put some more weapons around him. And I'm excited to see some of his future he got going on. Next game, the Steelers and the Ravens. Man, all I can say about this is the refs contributed to another loss for the Ravens. Like, they contributed to this loss. It was a critical play where, Isaiah Likely had the ball in the end zone, but a defender was around him and got it knocked out. So they ultimately ruled it no touchdown. And that's back-to-back weeks where Likely had a touchdown taken out his box score. So Likely, man, you gotta get something figured out. In terms of the Steelers, man, good game for Rodgers, man. 284 yards, 1 passing touchdowns, and even 1 on the ground. But the Ravens is losing the grip of this division. I believe now the Steelers are on top. So, yeah. I I mean, they fed Henry the ball 24, 20, 25 carries, but, he still had less than 100 yards. So, yeah. And LJ still had another interception this game. So, this Ravens is still turning over the ball. LJ, I mean, he looked a little less rusty this game, but nevertheless, he took a couple sacks, which is not like him. So I don't know what to say about this Ravens team going forward. I had them running the table in. Currently, they're struggling right now. So we'll see in the next couple of weeks how this division unfolds as the Steelers and the Ravens are close and the Bengals are kind of on their heels as well. Next game was the Dolphins and the Jets. Oh, man, I picked the Jets in this game, and I knew I shouldn't. I knew it, but I just knew how bad Miami was and is. Like, Tua is trash. He didn't show anything. I mean, and Achane got hurt this game. I mean, before he got hurt, he put up like 7 carries and 92 yards and a touchdown. But they still end up winning the game. And actually, funny enough, the Jets let all 3 of their running backs score touchdowns. Ollie Gordon and Jalen Wright. I already mentioned Devon Achane, but yeah, this Jets team is a dumpster fire. Tyrod Taylor ended up getting hurt this game too. Not sure if that would have made much of a difference. As this Jets team was just struggling all around, and it looks like I think this Dolphins team has been improving on the defense in the past couple of weeks too. So that's going to be something to look out for. But yeah, I don't know where with Justin Fields. I was expecting him to get in the game after Tyrod Taylor exited the game, but I don't know. It looks like Justin Fields' time is done, and he might have to consider just being a gadget player from now on, or career backup. To be honest, but I don't know if I can see him really in much backup roles because they're saying he's not really grasping the offense like that. So at best, he can be a gadget player, which would be a very, very good role for him, man. I wouldn't mind seeing him in some special packages. As we know, anytime you get in the ball, he is explosive and he can still pass the ball downfield. So, he might find a comfortable role with being a gadget player if he's willing to change his mindset around being a starting quarterback, because he had multiple stints on the Bears and on the Steelers and on the Jets, and they just haven't worked out. So maybe time for him to reconsider his career trajectory if he wants it to keep going. Next game, really no surprises here. Broncos get the win. They let the Raiders in the game. This game was looks closer on paper than what it was watching the game. Fourth quarter, they kind of let them score a little bit. So definitely was not too happy about that one because I had took a live spread with the Broncos and it was 10.5. So those 10 points in the fourth quarter killed me. But about this game, really the inefficiency of Bo Nix. I don't know how the Broncos can keep this going. I know they got a strong defense, but Bo Nix was 31 for 38 and only had 212 passing yards and no passing touchdowns. I mean, he had 1 touchdown rushing, but come on. If you do the math, that was 227 all-purpose yards. And with those 41 touches that he had, both 3 on the ground and 38 on the air, that only averaged out to 5.5 yards per touch. So that's not really that good, especially when you got 41 touches and only 227 yards. Like, still not a believer. Don't know when I'll be a believer. Probably never. Looks like he's a good game manager. Like I said, but when you got an elite defense, you can do that. And a head coach that been there before with a Hall of Fame quarterback, you know, all you just gotta play mistake-free football, let your defense cook, and you just kind of push the ball down the field periodically, get a field goal here and there, and you'll be good. But you know, he's not an explosive player. So come playoff time, this Broncos team is not gonna get it done. Next game, no real surprises here. Been said before, Rams got the best offense in the league. And, you know, they just beat up on another bad team, which was the Cardinals. But what's even more impressive is they scored 45 points, and Devontae Adams did not have a big game. You know, he only had 27 yards, no touchdowns. You know, really Puka and Corum stole the show. They had 4 touchdowns combined, 2 for Puka, and 2 for Corum. So this Rams team got weapons all over the field. I mean, not that we didn't know that with Puka Nacua. Like, you know, we've been knowing Puka's a dog. And he had like 167 yards. But yeah, turn to the Cardinals. I mean, Wilson, he's looking like the dude now that Marvin's gone. 11 catches, 142 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I definitely would like to, you know, see them utilize him some more because, you know, he had a lot of good catches that game, especially that one touchdown where he mossed Buddy. I forget. I think it was Forbes. So he definitely got some talent. Yeah. I don't know what this offense would probably benefit from. I know they need another explosive element coming out the backfield. Trey Benson, he was supposed to be coming back, but they haven't designated him to come back off IR. And James Conner, he had a season-ending injury, and he's getting old himself. So, you know, this is a team I would love for them to target a explosive running back. I mean, they need a quarterback first, but you know, Jacoby Brissett looks like he's kind of getting it done in the meanwhile. But you definitely want to shore up that position. Next game, oh man, prime time. My Bears lost. My Bears lost. This was a good game, you know. And Packers just had more explosive plays than the Bears. That's why they end up winning. Jordan Love, like I said, his touchdowns he threw, I think 2 touchdowns were for over 40 yards. So, and maybe you don't know about this, but the Bears secondary have been banged up. Jalen Johnson, he's back. But nevertheless, you know, this defense is giving up explosive plays, and this offense hasn't really been that explosive either. And Caleb Williams had a pretty decent game outside that last throw. And he needs to be smarter. You know, it was 4th and 1. We had a couple timeouts on the clock. Just need to get that 1 yard. You know, I understand what he was seeing. Cole Kmet was open if he threw it sooner. But when you late on that and you know you late, you know, I would just rather him to go full force, try to get that 1 yard, you know what I'm saying, damn near break his shoulder if you got to. But, you know, that didn't happen. We lost. It was a good game. And I look forward to playing the Packers in a couple more weeks. Texans and the Chiefs. I told y'all about them Texans, man. Houston is a problem, man. For real. Just like good old Texas, man. You're going to get locked up if you do something stupid over there. So, that defense locking everybody up. And nobody's scared of the Chiefs anymore. Mahomes, 3 interceptions and 2 sacks. He was actually the leading rusher for the game. He had 59 rushing yards. So, but yeah, nobody's scared of the Chiefs. The run game is non-existent. Their pass game is just to Rice. So, there's nothing the Chiefs can do. You know what I'm saying? They need to figure it out. Maybe they got, you know, one more good year with Kelsey. White's still young. He can still get it done. And just need an explosive running back coming out the backfield. But, the sunshines and rainbows are gone for the Chiefs. And they most likely will not make the playoffs this year. And then last game, wow. Last game was the Chargers and the Eagles. Was not expecting the Chargers to win this one. But I said it previously before, the Chargers is a better home team. And they end up forcing 5 turnovers on Hurts. And that's just terrible, man. What happened to Jalen Hurts? He used to make no turnovers. In the past couple weeks, he's been making a lot of turnovers. So I don't know what's going on in the Eagles locker room. A.J. Brown probably got his Twitter ready, tweeting off some stuff. I mean, big game for Barkley. Pretty decent game for A.J. Brown as he had 100 yards. But, he did drop that 1 touchdown. So that's on him. They probably would have won that game if he didn't drop that touchdown. And Justin Herbert, man, what's going on with Herbert? I know he's a little bit hurt. I mean, he got the job done, got the win, but he took 7 sacks. He has that hand injury. But yeah, he hasn't really been looking comfortable. So, this is a team that's in the thick of it and all. But with a quarterback that's banged up like him, they're not going to make it far. Mario Hampton came back in this game. He scored a touchdown. And that was encouraging and exciting to see. But, you only as good as how far your quarterback will take you. And Justin Herbert has been taking a lot of hits, and he looks very banged up. But, yep, that was Week 14. Like I stated at the beginning of this video, I finished with a impressive 5-9. Another subpar, sub 500 week. So, definitely need to work on that, man. Don't know what's going on. Been taking some losses. I've been swinging high, predicting some upsets, and it just haven't been happening for me. But yeah. I don't want to give you guys some basic picks. I want to try to find some upsets here and there. And I think I'm just swinging too hard. But some of these losses that I took, the game was close, and the game could have been had for those teams. Just some boneheaded mistakes, some either like a late interception or interception getting returned for a touchdown, or just simply not showing up. But yeah, I'm gonna be back again with a Week 15 preview show, so be on the lookout for that. And thank you for watching. And be on the lookout. Make sure y'all hit the bell notification so you can be notified every time I post a video. And let me know what y'all think in the comments. What picks I'm doing right at, what I'm going wrong at. Love to hear some input from y'all and engage with my audience. But like always, thank you for watching. And I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.